Hi all, welcome to the second video of this series. Here we'll be going through all the practical implementations of all the components that we have discussed, that is Eureka Server, Eureka Clients, how the communication happens between order service and payment service through Kafka, how the communication happens between payment service and user service through RESTful APIs. So let me go to the projects which we have created for the same. So as you can see on the screen, we have created 4 Spring Boot projects. This is for service registry. This is for payments. This is for order service. And this is for user service. We will be going through each and every components of these based on this diagram. So first of all, let me go to our Kafka and start the servers. First, I need to start the zookeeper. Once that is started, I need to start my Kafka server. Now we can see that Kafka server has booted up. The next step is to start various services. But before that, we need to create and start the Eureka server. So this is our Eureka server or server registry. Here we have annotation enable Eureka server. And for the rest of the microservice, we are having annotation enable Eureka client, as you can see here. For all the services like payment, user service, or order service, or any other service which you want to have in our architecture, we'll be using Eureka client. And for our server, we'll be using Eureka server. Now let me start this project. Let's go and see what are in the application properties. So we just have provided the name and we have mentioned that we have to enable cloud config. In YAML, we have provided the port 78761. Apart from this, we also have to make changes in POM. So we need to add this dependency here, which is Netflix Eureka server. Also, we need to add this dependency, which provides us the details of cloud dependency and its version. So as we can see that the Eureka server has now started on port 8761. Now let's go to the port and let's see how it looks like. Here we can see that Eureka server is up with the basic template which we can see, and there are no instances available here. So now let me add various instances of our microservices. So first microservice is user service. So let me start that. User microservice is nothing but we just have created some POJOs in which there is general information about any user like name, email ID, etc. This is user controller in which we can provide various endpoints whichever are needed for our architecture and application. This is a main class with enabled discovery client annotation. This is our application.properties with basic config for connection to database. This is YAML. In this YAML, we need to make sure that we provide the correct service name, here we have used user hyphen service. So this name will be registered with Eureka Server. Also, we have provided this default zone, which is 8761. We can see that our server has started. Now let's go and check what is the status in our Eureka server. So we can see that one of the services is now being registered. Now let us start remaining services as well. Let me start order service now. In order service, again we have used enable Eureka client annotation of our main class. And basic information regarding this service is like we have created some order which are having basic details of order in like ID, name, category, price, etc. Then we have DDOs for payment and user here, because we will need to fetch all the details finally in the user controller with help of this user ID. In application.properties, again we have provided various configuration for connection with databases, and in YAML the similar configuration as we had in user service. Here we also have the same like order service, and we need to mention the default zone, and we need to also mention that we need to register it with Eureka, and we also need to fetch the registry. Now this order service is also started. The last service is payment service. Again, here we are having some basic details and entities for payment like ID, payment mode, amount, etc. And this structure and this Bojo can depend upon various needs of the architecture of the project. In application.properties, again we have the common configuration. We are starting on some port, and similar to the other services, we are having payment service name, then registering with Eureka, fetching registry, etc. details. Here we need to add a REST template, as we'll be using this REST template to have the REST template information at our payment service. Now let's go to our Eureka server and see how many services are registered. Let me start the payment service as well. So payment service is up now, and the same is reflected in our server endpoint. All the three services are up now. Now let's go to our database and see how it looks like, how various data of various services are available. So you can see we are having three tables here: order table, payment table, and user information. And based on corresponding values, we have created a sample data by which we'll be able to see corresponding data for payment, order, and user information. Now let's go to Postman. In this Postman, let me hit with this request. I've already done that, but let's see how it works now. So we can see that all the information from user table, payment table, and order table is being displayed here. Another way to check it is on the URL on the browser as well. Here we can see the same information. So we can see that we have created a microservice architecture based on Eureka Server, and we have created payment services, user service, and order service, and we have seen the interaction between them through Kafka, through RESTful APIs. For interaction between various services, we use different mechanism. For example, if an order is placed, the user will not wait for some order confirmation, or he will need immediate information regarding the payment. That is why we need to use Kafka at this end. And rest of the things, like if the user service information is needed or any other service information is needed, which is not needed to be async, then we can use RESTful APIs. Here we can see that we have used Kafka topics, here in the application. We will be able to see that this is our topic which we have used for publishing the values, and in payment service we are consuming the values from the same topic, as you can see with this annotation. So communication between various services which need to be fast, we can use Kafka or any other technology, right, like RabbitMQ, for making the communication better, and the responses should be readily available to user. For other services, we can choose to have communication based on RESTful API calls, which are not needed to be async. So that was all for this video, and there are multiple details which we need to add in this setup. So we will be discovering those in the next videos. Thank you.